Join the cause! Good people of Cantha, the time has come for you to take up arms. For too long now, our glorious lands have been tarnished as they wither in the shadows of fear and helplessness. When Shiro the Betrayer returned, he brought with him the affliction, and the plague still walk these lands, spreading unabated. Great heroes rose up, and they sent the Betrayer back. But I ask you this, where are those heroes now? Where are they while the innocent seek what little shelter they can find, hoping to survive to see another day? Where is our great empire, and what has it done to protect the people? When a voice cries out for help, do they even hear it from behind the palace walls? Allow me to share with you a great truth as it was shared with me. Cantha is a land that does not need heroes. It is not a land that will tremble at looming threats. It is not a land that will stand aside waiting for a saviour. It is not a land where people are so broken and weak that they cannot stand up for themselves. The strength that Cantha needs is the strength that comes in the moment when ordinary men and women confront that which holds them back. When they stand tall and proud, when their eyes shine with fierce determination, when their spirit burns brighter than even the sun. When a simple truth is known, they will no longer submit. Our strength is a strength that comes from purity of purpose, good people working together for a common cause. Ask yourself this, is there any greater future than the one that you shape with your own hands? This is what the Ministry of Purity is offering. The chance for a better tomorrow, a better Cantha, and most importantly, a better you. Believe me, friends, when I say that change is upon us. Will you be swept away by it, or will you stand at the forefront to see with your own eyes where it will lead? Zun Rao, Ecclesiate of the Ministry of Purity. Wait, who? Why am I at my guild hall? Should I film this? Should I show you my guild hall right at the end of everything? Why not? Here's my guild hall, guys. I recently changed guild, but this is my guild hall. Brilliant. Okay, so let's leave that. Hi, guys. Oh, and now we're at Camadan. Yeah, and welcome to another episode. We're on Peter Redhill because there's something I didn't show yesterday in the last quest. There was actually a fair bit of stuff, actually. I feel bad because really I should have done my research. But that does mean that this episode, and I'm not going to split this, my limit's been removed now, as I found out yesterday, so this could be a very long episode. I don't care if it's that long, though, because like it's the last one, so, you know, I don't want to say goodbye to you guys too quickly. Yeah, it could be quite long, but what we're going to do is I've ran through All of Winds of Change Part 3 now on Peter Redhill. Who would have thought I ended up doing it twice, pretty much, one on normal mode, one on hard mode. But off screen, I've ran through it on Peter Redhill, so that I can come back to the final mission. The only thing I haven't done here on Peter is the final mission. Give me 1 second to add my heroes. Now, I'm not going to show the whole quest. Don't worry, I'm not going to show the whole mission for you guys. Like, I know that would be quite boring. But there is a fair bit of dialogue that I missed. I completely missed. Now, you remember that... Actually, no. Let's talk about it when we get there. First of all, though, you know that earlier quest we did where it was a complete pain in the arse at the rally where I had all that really important stuff, but in the hard mode version it just cut it all out? Turns out, actually, and I knew something was off yesterday, but I couldn't quite realise what it was. The final quest does the same thing. You know how I was like, oh, this is really nice, it just jumps you straight into the encounter? That's because when I went in, I kind of thought, oh, most of the dialogue will happen during the fight, which is cool. But no, it does actually, there's loads of dialogue there, but it's only in the normal mode version the first time you play the quest, what do you know? So, that totally sucks, and they cut it all out in hard mode. So, we're going to go in on hard mode, in normal mode, sorry, just so we can see that very starting bit of dialogue, even though it's probably useless now anyway, because we've seen everything. But completionist sake, yada yada yada. And there's something else later on in the quest as well that should have triggered but didn't due to an unfortunate other hard mode distinction thing, which I'll point out in a second. But yeah, so this is the actual intro to the final quest. The final confrontation, should I say. You can run out to Reiko, and she says, I'm impressed to see that you've come here. It looks like you've finally grown up enough to stop running from your own problems. It's too bad you haven't also gained the wisdom to know when to leave well enough alone, she says. Oh, really now? So she's actually saying to us pretty much, the Ministry of Purity is all about believing in yourself and standing up for yourself, and now you're finally doing that. You are doing what we want you to do, which kind of sucks. Miku says, you're right, maybe I'm not as wise as you. I've stumbled in life, and I am now behind on the dialogue, as ever. And I've made mistakes, but I followed my heart and done what I believe to be right. I've learned from the lessons that life's taught me. That's why I know this has to end. The change begins here and now. Ashu, Reiko's used you. She turned you into a symbol in order to give herself power, to push her own agenda. I remember the days of our youth together. I remember your smile. And Miku says, so tell me, if this is the life you've chosen, then where is your smile now? And Reiko says, I think you said quite enough. So what if it's furthered my own ambition? The people need hope. They need a symbol to rally to. I gave them hope, and I gave them the will to fight. What have you offered them? You are just outsiders meddling in the affairs of Cantha. You're just another problem for the Ministry of Purity to solve. And we say, that's enough. I believed in your cause, and you have turned that against me. You have used the people of Cantha. You have used me. Oh, sorry, and we also say, I've gone to great lengths to make this world a safer place. And we also say, this ends now. I'll not allow myself to be used as a pawn ever again. And I cannot allow you to use others. We are beyond the point of settling this with words. Show me the strength of your beliefs. That last line, of course, being... Oh no, spoilers. Oh no, that's not spoilers. I'm wearing my oppressor weapons for some random reason. Because of yesterday, I was doing something else. That's completely unrelated. Where's my hammer? Oh no, when I gave my hammer to... Oh no! Oh no, okay, well, I don't actually have a weapon for this last quest. Fantastic. Well, I reckon we'll be able to kill her anyway. It is only normal mode. In any case, I'm going to cut it until the next main thing. But yeah, that's the actual intro. Oh, I can still use Whirlwind Attack, which is so useful. Yeah, so there is actually one other thing. That was the actual intro. I think it's quite good. Miku actually gets a saying this time, which is... and so do we as well, which I think is quite important. We actually get to say something, which is cool. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, alright, and here, now you can see when she's about 2/3 down, Daisuke appears. I still don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he says, don't get the wrong idea, hero. We're not here to contribute to your legacy. It's you who stands with us. Our might will overcome Reiko's lies. And Reiko says, filthy vagabond, you dare strike at me directly. The streets of Kaineng will run red with the blood of all you hold dear for this travesty. One thing I never actually mentioned during this Let's Play, they say that the streets will run red with with your blood way too much in Winds of Change. Like, so much. You see that line appear constantly in Part 3, which is quite funny. Anyway, yeah, so Daisuke actually appears and has his own dialogue. What I said yesterday, essentially, is a moot point about how just the Jade Brotherhood were there at the end and the Amphar weren't. Thing is, I did do that side quest, but because we were playing through in hard mode and I only did that side quest in normal mode, it didn't allow him to come. But this time, because I've done everything in normal mode, Daisuke has actually appeared. So that whole story there does get a conclusion with Zemnai. All that stuff does end, and he will appear here, and the Amphar will come to help you. Likewise, that also means that I'm going to cut it until that end part. I believe that Daisuke should actually appear there in the end as well, standing with all the main characters. We'll see. Give it 1 second. And yeah, there you go. As you can see, standing right next to Zinji, Daisuke is actually here. You can click him and he has some dialogue. It says, it would seem Zemnai's eye for talent is as sharp as ever. You've helped my friends and my country, hero, and for that I give you my thanks. Perhaps there are some outsiders worth trusting after all. So everyone does kind of come together. The Amphar do indeed come too. Also, yesterday, Zinji, I kept getting her name wrong. This was actually the girl that we saved at Sumai Village. And then she appeared in one of the random events over at the harbour in the city. And then she was also the one that was leading that protest rally that we had to run away with. So that was actually her role, and Eri Heart of Fire was the person we saved. So there you go, that also cleans that up. That's everything I wanted to really show you. Then we can get the reward. Now, okay, the rest of the episode is going to be rewards. When you complete this whole story, you get an Imperial Dragon's Tear. This is the equivalent of the item you would get at the end of, say, Prophecies, Factions, Nightfall, any of those. It's a single item that you can then trade for a single green at the end of the game, and that will be a particular item. Now, for Winds of Change, Warring Kryta never did it, the Hearts of the North never did it. This is the only one from Guild Wars Beyond that functions like this. The difference between this, though, and the other, like, reward things that you got for the other campaigns, is this actually can't be traded to other players, which kind of sucks a little bit, but it can't be traded. So, what you basically do is, immediately, one reward you get for Winds of Change for completing it, is you get this one tier, and you get to choose which green do you want. Now, the greens all share one of the new weapon sets, one of the new types of skin that was added for the Winds of Change. Now, this is called the Imperial set, but pretty much, if I believe. Well, no, the thing is, there's some purples as well that are also going under the name of Imperials, but they don't actually have unique skins. I'll show you. Most of this I'm going to be doing on Tom Bluewood, but from here on, the rest of the episode is pretty much just going to be about rewards, guys. Really not that much about the story. I doubt I'll talk that much about it. But yeah, so over here you can find, obviously there's always been the Kurzik Poet and the Luxembourg, or for a long time they've been there. But there are actually some more guys here. There's requisition orders, officers, and you can speak to this guy over here. He's the one you want for the Imperial Dragon tier. He says to us that, yes, I have some weapons from the Imperial Guard storage, but I take my responsibility seriously and will give them only to the most dedicated servants of Cantha. If you had something like an Imperial Dragons tier, I would consider honouring your support. I wonder how meek you got that tier. But in any case, so you get to pick one weapon of the new skin set. I've actually collected one of every single type. Many thanks to Mike for that, because he gave me 5 tiers towards this end. But I've got one of every type of skin. They're all on Tom Bluewood at the moment, and we'll be able to have a look at that later. But just to show you this function of being able to trade, I may as well get, I don't know, a shield. And the thing is, Peter Redall's got so many items now that he just never uses. How about a hammer? Because I got rid of the previous hammer. So these are like Kaineng weapons, pretty much. They're pretty cool. As you can see, the skin there. I'll be showing you all the skins and stuff outside in an Explorer in a minute, which is something I wanted to do when this part first came out, but never really did in the end because it was just too much to ask to get all the rewards way back then. But yeah, so that's that. That's what the tier is used for. That's what you get for completing it. You get 1 tier in normal mode and 2 tiers in hard mode for a total of 3 tiers if you complete everything together. So you can get 3 of these greens actually, which isn't too shabby. Now, in addition to that, you'll also get 2 types of commendations. One type of commendation you get more early on, which are just typical commendations that you get from quests, even in normal factions around Kaineng Center, and they can be traded at these quartermasters. 5 for these items. Not a new mechanic at all, not a new item either. These have been in here for a very long time. I ended up with about 15, I think, or maybe a few more. So what I do with those, I always have, is just trade them for superior salvage kits, because then you can sell those for a platinum, which isn't too bad. So you can get those, but those are completely separate really from the Winds of Change unique rewards, but you do get them as rewards for the Winds of Change. However, in addition to the Imperial commendations, which are commendations obviously given to us by the Imperial Guard themselves, you can also get ministerial commendations. Now, the ministerial ones are given to you by the Ministry of Purity, and just because you're not like fighting against the Ministry of Purity for the later portions of the Winds of Change story, you still continue to get those commendations. Now, the ministerial commendations can be traded for many different things, which I'll talk about in Tom Bluewood because I've traded them all over to him there. But in particular, one of the things that you can trade them for are these things here called requisition orders. A voucher used by the Imperial Guard to obtain weapons and equipment from official suppliers. Exactly what is being requisitioned is hard to make out, but it must be valuable, right? Now, in addition to the commendations themselves, which I haven't shown you yet, you can also get, just through the normal course of gameplay, in normal mode, 15 of these requisition orders, and I believe you get more in hard mode as well. The requisition orders can be traded for many things. You get 15 from playing through once. Now, if you come over to this requisition order here, this requisition officer here, sorry, he will tell you, exceptionally heroic citizens may be granted dispensation to access weaponry from the Imperial Guard storage. If you have Imperial Guard requisition orders, I can make the necessary arrangements. So, not only do you get an Imperial Dragons tier for completing the Winds of Change, you also get 15 of these, which allow you to get a gold modifiable version of the new weapon skin set. These are arguably the more worthwhile versions. These would be the ones if they were ever allowed to be added to the Hall of Monuments, which by the way they are not, because support, it sounds like it's a real pain in the ass for ArenaNet to actually add support for stuff for the Hall of Monuments after the fact, so it's kind of annoying for them. So these can't actually be added to Hall of Monuments, but I can guarantee you, well, almost guarantee you, that those greens wouldn't be able to be added, but these golds would, and these would certainly be far more valuable because you can mod them to however you want them to be. You can add your own inscriptions, stuff like that, and they come with every single attribute and anything you could possibly want. So these are like the more worthwhile ones, but they will cost all of your requisition orders that you just get naturally through the course of gameplay, barring the ones that you can also get from trading up your ministerial commendations. Is this confusing you guys? I hope it's not. I'm trying to be as clear as I can be. So you can get those, but I'm not going to exchange that because I've already got the full set of greens, so I can show you the skins anyway. This guard here, however, also offers stuff for these requisition orders, but these are different things. Right. This person will offer you either an Imperial Guard Reinforcement Order, which is a summoning stone, very similar to the Tengu Flares and very similar to the Shining Blade Warhorns, in that it will summon 3 allies for you. These are Imperial Guard allies. Very, very cool item, but I've never actually traded up for one of them, just because I've already got a lot of different types of these summoning stones. This is the only way to get this. I don't know how powerful the Imperial Guards are, whether they're necessarily much stronger than the Tengu or much stronger than the Shining Blade. I wouldn't mind, a lot of people would mind, but I wouldn't mind so much if they were a little bit more powerful, just because I don't know why anyone would really go for this, because the temptation of other things to spend on these requisition orders is much higher. Don't forget, we only have 15, and if you get one of these, it will cost you 3 of them, so you're not going to be able to get many of whatever you choose. This here is a Seal of the Dragon Empire. Completely, I have no idea why you'd ever want to get that. I mean, it just gives you a 10% morale boost, and it wastes 3 of those things. I would never do that. That just sounds like a terrible move. Or you can get an Imperial Guard lockbox. Contains various items confiscated by the Imperial Guard. These lockboxes have a variety of many different things. You know how we had some greens over there for the tiers? There's also 2 other sets of greens in Winds of Change. One set of greens, okay, are greens that will drop from killing enemies randomly as you play through the storyline, very similar to the Warring Krita that I mentioned quite a lot in the Warring Krita. So as this entire time through this Let's Play, I could have been having greens drop from enemies. That never happened in the Let's Play. I did actually off-screen get 1 green, which I'll be showing you later, that's dropped from enemies, but there's a whole set of greens that you can get through those means. They're not particularly amazing greens, but they are there. And in addition to that set of greens, so you've got the greens for the tiers, greens that can drop from enemies, and then there's a third set of greens which are like incredible skins, really, really cool, that come from these guard lockboxes, okay? In addition to the greens that these lockboxes drop, they can also drop minis and all kinds of other crazy stuff, and arguably the best rewards for Winds of Change come out of these lockboxes. So all I have ever done is just blown all of these requisition orders entirely on lockboxes, rather than trying to get the allies or trying to get the 10% morale boost, which is ridiculous. So what I'm going to do here is just trade all of these up for these boxes here. You'll see you've got 2 left. Oh no, you don't have any. Oh, okay, awesome. So you get 15, you can trade them all down immediately. Yeah, that's such basic maths. Okay, so you get 5 lock boxes. I'm going to open these and see what we get. I've never been lucky at all, so if I just want to clarify before we do this, if I do get lucky opening one of these, I don't want anyone to be pissed off, because I've completed this about 5 times now and never been that lucky. I've only ever got the greens, and the greens are very high chance of getting in these, okay? Are we clear? Right. Well, I'm not going to get anything anyway, but just to disclaim that. Right, let's do it. So we got 1. We got a Bay Cheese Bulwark, which Magical Mike got like 6 of those before. We've got another one, Delicious Cake. This is not a unique item to Winds of Change. You could also get these out of the lockboxes that drop in PvP, but it's pretty cool anyway. It gives you a hell of a lot of points. In fact, if we eat it, you get even this like unique little effect. Actually, that might not be unique. Another Delicious Cake. Another Bay Cheese Bulwark. I think they must have the highest drop rate. And a Plague-Soaked Stave. I'll show you these skins later, because I've got a collection of loads of them already on Tom Bluid. So that's what we got out of our lock boxes. And what I'm going to do now is go over to Tom Bluid, because I want to explain the rest of the rewards, because this isn't really the extent of it. And I've got all the stuff on Tom Bluid as it is. So I will see you guys there. And at the end of the day, he was the guy who did the Let's Play. Why would we end on Peter Redhill when he didn't do anything? I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, we're back. As you can see, by the way, this is a very different end to like the Warring Krita and stuff was. I never really got off my arse and actually paid attention to the rewards enough. Well, I knew what the rewards were, but I never really gave you guys a good rundown of what they were. I mean, I feel like that Warring Krita one I did was quite sloppy, and I did realise that with Winds of Change there was a good opportunity to show you everything and how it will work, so that's kind of why this one's ending a little bit different to the other ones. Anyway, right, so let's go back a step, right? As I said, once again, when you complete the Winds of Change, you can get Dragon's Tears, which I've already spent on Tom Bluid off screen, which you can trade for the greens. But then you also get Imperial Commendations, which were just normal items that you could get in normal vanilla factions, which can be traded up to those guys. Then you also get the Ministerial Commendations. These were the commendations given to you by the Ministry of Purity, right? So what can these be traded for? Well, let's have a look around. Ministerial Commendations can be used for quite a lot of stuff. There's a lot of new NPCs around here, you may have noticed. First of all, we've got this Ran P, the fashion designer, most of this stuff's crap by the way, who will say, those Ministry of Purity uniforms are so chicken modern. I'd love to get a sample of them to use as an inspiration for my own line of outfits, but to them I'm just an ordinary citizen. If I had some commendations from them, I'm sure I could convince them otherwise. I have a friend in the Imperial Guard, so I could make it worth your while if you happen to acquire any. So she will trade your ministerial commendations directly for more requisition orders. So you know how you get 15 requisition orders for completing Winds of Change in normal mode? You also get a few ministerial commendations, so you can actually trade those for more requisition orders and actually have a couple more than 15, but it's not that many. However, because Tom Bluid has completed it both in normal mode and hard mode, and I've traded across all of the ones from Peter Redhill, we've got 55, which is quite a lot of commendations. This is what I'll be trading them for, more requisition orders, so we can get more lockboxes, but in the meantime, let's have a look at what else we can use it for. There is also, not Pofang, you're just a normal boring person. There's also this Baker guy who is a Ministry of Purity guy who's got his helmet off. That's quite funny. His mask off, sorry. Who says, I never learned to hold a sword, just to sift and fold. Though I have a warrior's heart, my baking isn't much use on the battlefield, I'm afraid. Still, bring me proof that you're helping the cause and I'll reward you with a mighty treat. So if I wanted, I could get 55 Ministries of Purity, which has actually got a unique item. It's just a birthday cupcake, but it's completely white. I think that's quite cool. Then again, though, it is just a sweet point thing. It only gives you 3 points, and for what the accommodations themselves are worth, I've never bothered with it. But there you go. That's one of the items you can get. Then you've got this arms dealer here. This person was added. I showed you this person right at the start of Winds of Change. This person was here before Part 3 of Winds of Change came out, and like the tiers and all that kind of stuff was really added or had a use. And this was somebody who offered another kind of set of Winds of Change items that weren't actually unique skins, so I have no idea why anyone would want to do it. And they're only purple. But she says, if you're looking for weapons, you've come to the right place. I've got exactly what you need. No matter what it is you're fighting, I've got something sharp enough to stick in it. Okay, who are you? Oh, shit. Who are you? She says, I'm just someone making a difference in my own special way. Truth of it is, I get kickbacks from the Ministry of Purity the more weapons I get into the hands of the people, so I don't really care who takes them, just so long as they've got the ministerial accommodations to keep things official. You know, I never thought of that, but how they essentially turn just common peasants and people into roaming gangs and mobs that would fight for the Empire. They need to be armed somehow, and I like this, actually. It's a good idea, isn't it, how these people actually get their arms. Why not take a look at what I've got? I'm certain you'll find something that's a perfect fit for you. I'm certain I won't. So this is the Purity weapon set, but seriously, all of these weapons here, actually, these daggers look like a unique skin. All of these things here, though, I'm pretty sure that they're just old skins. Actually, I'm going to have to check this. 1 second. Yeah. So this is a weapon set called the Purity weapon set that don't actually have their own unique new skins. So the only reason you might want these, okay, is a lot of people really care about having gold items in the game, so being purple puts them off immediately. They are all max stats, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's what Guild Wars does. It will be max stats. But if you don't care that they're purple, and I suppose because you want to be able to ping what weapon set you're using to your friends, so that it will be like, oh, I'm using a Focus of Purity. I suppose if you wanted to do that. But none of them are unique skins. They can be found in other places and more. Well, no, these are quite easily moddable as well, so maybe that's a benefit. But for 15 of these, I wouldn't go for it. But this is the Purity weapon set. It fills a nice place in lore, I suppose, explaining where people get their weapons from. But that is also a reward you can get for 15 commendations. Never personally dealt with it myself because, as I said, not unique skins. And they've been there for a while. They were there, I believe, even since Part 1. And those are the traders down here, I believe. So that's what you can do with your commendations. You can get treat points, you can get all kinds of stuff. But most importantly, if I were you, I would recommend, unless you seriously want something else, trade them all up for requisition orders, as I'm doing here. So we had 55 from completing normal mode twice. We got 1 spare. Let's get a Ministry, shall we? Yeah, I love the name of these things as well. Ministry of Purity. There we go. Lovely. Yum, yum, yum. And let's eat it. Delicious. And now we get to move fast. So, sugar jolt, man. 50% faster. That's actually so fast. That's brilliant. So, what we're going to do is come back over here. Now that we've got an arseload of Imperial Guard requisition orders, we're going to trade up for even more lockboxes. Now, before I do these lockboxes, however, because these are going to fill my inventory like mad, let's just exchange these all over. As many as we've got. How many have we got? 16. 16, that should be a good chance. Right. Okay, so we've got 16 lockboxes, traded everything away. That's kind of how the rewards work. Now, the greens that can come out of these lockboxes are as... Oh, should I show off the skins first, or should I just put these on a different character and that's got an empty inventory? Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to dump some stuff into my storage. Alright, okay, fantastic. We've got an empty inventory. 16 lockboxes. Here we go. Let's try and get lucky. 3 Tengu support flares. There you go. That's where these come from. Phoenix's Retribution. That's good, actually. That almost completes my set. I'm only missing one of these greens now. Beidhi's Bulwark. A Battle Isles Iced Tea. Again, you can get him the PvP stuff. Delicious Cake. Zunrao's Justice. 10 lockpicks. Yeah, you get them in sets of 10. Weapons. Oh, Shattered Illusion. I think that actually completes my set. I think that's the last one I needed. Brilliant. More weapons. More tea, more weapons. And we didn't get anything that lucky. Right, okay. Give me 1 second to clean everything out, and I can show you this full set of greens right here. We can go out into an explorable area. Well, give me 1 sec, guys. Alright, cool. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible to show off the skins. But, right, so what we've got here is a full set of greens that come from these lockboxes. Now, there is one item that I'm missing from this set, sadly. This item here, the People's Will, this is actually what I got that dropped from just normal Ministry of Purity mobs during one of my times running through. It's just a normal fan skin, so you're not really missing out on anything there. But we have got all these items. These are probably some of my favourite weapons that are in the game. This here is an Imperial Dragon Staff, which I'll show you more later of the other weapon set. But here, so we start off with a Phoenix's Retribution. Kind of cool staff, not too unique though. A Plague-Soaked Staff. This weapon here is actually, I believe, the weapon that was being used in the first cutscene of Factions, where that guard dies and he gets like stabbed through the chest. The thing that NPC was actually wielding was this. It was like this stick thing, and ArenaNet actually allowed you to start using that as a weapon. I mean, how cool is that? Called the Plague-Soaked Staff, which is pretty cool. Then next you've got Unending Night's Grasp. A lot of these are named after characters that we saw in the Winds of Change. So this was Apep Unending Night, the leader of the Amphar towards the end. Kind of a snaky looking staff there, kind of cool. Some of these are unique skins, by the way. Now we've got Uruku's Slicers. These are the swords that I've been using the whole way through the Winds of Change. In fact, a lot of these skins, those of you with keen eyes will have been noticing, were on my heroes as we played through. Very cool. They're like dual wielding swords, pretty awesome. They're a bit like Alari's double blades that were available at the end of the war in Kryta. Then we've got Beidhi's Bulwark, which we're going to have to unequip these to actually be able to see, which is just a regular shield. It's pretty common. It's not an amazing one. Then we've got Ganshu's Record, which is a scroll, but with a black skin that you don't often see in Guild Wars, I believe. Why have I got 2 Phoenix's Retributions? Crap. Okay, we'll put that to the side. There's a Shattered Illusion here. This is actually a weapon that it's a wand that requires domination magic, but it's actually what would typically be a focus that characters would use. So it's actually kind of cool. It's like this thing that just floats around your wrist that you can like shoot balls out of, which is pretty awesome. In fact, I should have probably done this in the battle isle so that I can actually show you some of the animations of these. Mostly, the animations aren't really that different though, except for on certain professions, which is kind of cool. Zunrao's Absolution. This is a weapon that Peter Redhill was using the whole way through the game. It's actually a pretty cool hammer. Then there's Zunrao's Quill, which, if we unequip the Absolution, we will see is actually an offhand shield, and it actually defines itself in the description as being a parrying dagger, which is pretty cool. So if you want a shield that looks like a dagger, there you go. That's your chance there. You could use that with all kinds of skins at this point to be a warrior that looks like you're dual wielding daggers and be perfectly effective. Then there's Zunrao's Command, which is a scythe, but is in fact a bow staff skin. So this would normally be a staff for characters, but it's actually a scythe, and you'll be able to spin it around above your head and stuff. Looks very cool when you're attacking as a dervish. And lastly, there is a Claw of the Whispered here, which is just like a Grim Sister, but it's kind of quite black and crystalline. So they're a pretty cool weapon set, these things, actually. There is 2, I believe, now. If I've got 2 copies of Phoenix's Retribution here, there was 2 that I haven't been able to show you. But they're all pretty cool. They've all got pretty unique stuff. The other one that I haven't shown you is something called Zunrao's Justice, I believe. And that is actually a sword skin that, in fact, is a spear. So it's like you're throwing a sword, and the sword just keeps appearing back at you. Now, there's something you would have noticed about this weapon set, which I will explain more. Actually, do you know what? I might end up having to do another episode, to be honest, with the dialogues and this as well. No, we'll do it all in one. We're gonna do it all in one. We're gonna finish this here and now. So look, there's 4 weapons in this set actually called Zunrao's weapons, right? Zunrao's Absolution, Zunrao's Quill, and Zunrao's Command. What did I open the episode with? A quote, the first thing we ever heard, like on the website. Those things that I've been reading as we've been going through were slowly added with the parts. The first one was a preacher, essentially, the ecclesiate, so that's like another word for preacher, I believe, of the Ministry of Purity, that was talking about this stuff called Zun Rao. And we heard of him. And in fact, in the lockboxes, as I said, you can get minis. One of the mini is Minister Reiko. And who could the other mini be? I mean, there's only 2 minis there. Would it be Ashu? That would make sense, right? Ashu's a pretty big character in the Ministry of Fury. No, it's this other character, Zun Rao. A character that we've heard a lot about. And we've seen lots of hints through him, and there was the arena that was setting up that he was going to be this big character, that he was this important leader of the Ministry of Purity, that in the end never appeared in game. There's a character that's got a mini. The miniature version of him just looks like a normal, like, Ministry of Purity warrior, thick grunt, like it's not anything unique. But there's this character that he's got his own mini that actually isn't an NPC we ever see or speak of or hear in game. He's someone who's been working behind the scenes, leading the Ministry of Purity. That is also a big character in the Ministry of Purity that we never actually get to see head on. And a lot of people asked when part 3 was finished to, like, John Stummy, what the hell's going on? Who's this character? What's happening? And John Stummy replied by saying, what you see or don't see of Zun Rao is 100% deliberate. And you have to consider this. In part 3, they knew that they weren't going to be adding this character into the main storyline, and yet they dedicated a lot of the rewards, to him at the end. So what is up with Zun Rao? Who is this? He's still alive. He's still out there. What's going on with him? I mean, is this mystery that if I had got to this episode a few days ago before I realised that the live team weren't going to be doing much more with Guild Wars 1 anymore, I would be asking you, is this going to be another mystery? Is this like the Avinia of the Winds of Change? I think it was awesome. When I heard about this character that was like this super mysterious thing that didn't actually exist in the storyline in any physical form, I thought it was brilliant, and that he was like spread through all these other areas. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So there is this other aspect to this place. This is like the final mystery thing I was talking about. There's this character with this quote that you know is there, but we don't meet. And is he going to be a problem later? Is he going to be a character we hear about at some point in Guild Wars 2? Who knows? But yeah, Zun Rao, there you go. He's a character, and he's got all these weapons dedicated to him. These are all of his weapons. And there are quite a few of them. So there you go. Those are the lockbox weapons. Right, very quickly now, I'm going to take us through the weapons that you get for the Imperial Dragons tiers, or if you trade 15 requisition orders, the entirely new, unique weapon set known as the Imperial weapons, which are very awesome. So one of them is the Imperial Staff, which I did get rid of just now. So here's the dragon staff, this thing here. You'll notice a lot of these, I quite like this skin because not only do they look kind of cool, kind of awesome, but also they do remind me of Kainen quite a lot. So there's the staff, not massively impressive, I would say. And in this bag, as you can see, by the way, have you noticed how all this time through Tom Bluewood I never bought a belt pouch or another bag, and most characters I never got that last slot either. Pretty funny, isn't it, really? I was considering doing the last episode, but I think it'd be more fitting to leave him the way he is. Anyway, so yeah, this is the set. On the top, we've got all of the martial stuff I've ordered, except for the wand. So, one-handed stuff on top, sorry, two-handed stuff on bottom. So, let's have a look. We got a shield and a spear. The shield looks pretty cool. We'll be seeing that obviously with a lot of combinations. Spear just there. I'm doing this really in case you guys have also completed this and you can't decide what you want. The axe is pretty big. I'm one of those suckers that like the bigger skins. I'm sorry. So the axe is pretty cool, I think. Then we've got the Imperial Dragon Sword, which is pretty cool. Also kind of a big skin. And then what was the other one? Then we have got the hammer here. Which actually looks kind of crap. The hammer's quite small. It's got a nice detail, but I don't know. It looks like it could almost be one-handed. And the scythe suffers from the same thing. Look at how small the scythe is. Kind of small. But I suppose a lot of the original scythes that were in the game were like this, so I suppose that's more fitting. We've got the bow here, also very small, but actually that one kind of fits. I quite like that. That's quite a discreet bow. We've got daggers here. Very cool. And what's the other one? I think that's all of them, actually. I got through those so quickly. And I think last of all, there is the wand and focus. These are the first things I actually got, and in my opinion are the best, actually. Mainly because they actually come with some kind of an animation. The wand has got like a glow on it. They're quite big for a wand and focus. They are certainly quite big. They fit together quite nicely. When I completed hard mode, this is what I spent my 2 tiers on. Very cool weapon set. You may have seen one of my heroes was using these through the story. Pretty cool. So these are my favourite from the set. And yeah, that's what you can get for the tiers. Hopefully seeing that. So what I wanted to do when Winds of Change first came out was show you guys all of the weapon sets and like straight away and be like, because then there would have been a lot of people who hadn't finished it just yet that could have came to this video and been like, oh, so that's what everything looks like. Anyway, there you go. So that's pretty much all of the rewards. I haven't shown you obviously the minis that you can get from the lockbox. I haven't shown you those last 2 weapons from the set, that last Zun Rao's weapon, but still I think a lot of the stuff is really cool. Last of all, the lockbox, arguably the best thing that the lockbox will drop for you, is something called an Imperial Panda license. Now, this license will, you can go to the Zaisha Menagerie and trade that license with the guy there, and he'll actually unlock the panda as a pet for you. Any of you who have watched my early game faction stuff, you will have seen me talking about the panda because that actually appears in a quest if you are playing as a ranger. The panda was a pet in factions while it was being developed, and it was a cool idea, but when the game was launching in China, ArenaNet were a little bit worried that there would be some kind of law problem there, so they removed it because in China, supposedly, you're not allowed to show endangered species dying, like in games or anything. However, I've been doing some reading about it. It turns out that law was just like a myth, like an urban legend, but it seems to have got to ArenaNet anyway, or something more was going on there, and they decided to remove the panda. However, now the actual China servers are closed down for Guild Wars. There are still like China areas you can go to, districts you can go to, but they're not actually based in China. So because of that, I suppose John Stummy was given the go-ahead to re-add the panda into the game, and that is your way of acquiring the panda now, getting insanely lucky on those drop boxes and getting the license. The panda itself, I've heard, is not actually the original panda model either. It's just a reskinned bear, but as it evolves, it will get very big, bigger than most other bears, which is kind of cool. So it's a cool pet, exclusive only to Winds of Change if you get lucky from those drop lock boxes. I don't know how much they sell for, and I did look around in Camadan. That's why we were in Camadan before, but nobody was really selling any. So that's a shame. I was hoping to get one from the lockbox. I was hoping every time I played through this. Didn't in the end, didn't get lucky. I wish you guys the best of luck with your rewards. Now we are going to go, this is going to be so long, people are going to see this video in their feeds and be like, oh, it's so long, but actually most of it's just crap guff me running around with rewards. Anyway, now we're going to cap everything off with the last few dialogue encounters that were unlocked as a result of completing part 3, and say our tier 4 goodbye, I guess. So I'll see you guys in a second. I'm going to have to cut it to figure out and establish where all these dialogues are. See you in a sec. Actually, no, I tell a lie just before we do the dialogues. I just realised I almost forgot about Zairi and Miku. So at the end of the last episode, we unlocked these two heroes. You unlock Miku for completing the Winds of Change in normal mode, and you unlock Zairi for completing it in hard mode. One of them is an assassin, one of them is a ritualist. Quite fitting, I think, considering this is Cantha, and those were the two professions added when Factions was released. Miku is also the hero you get for normal mode is the assassin, which is arguably one of the worst hero professions, while the hard mode guy is a ritualist, which is arguably one of the best hard mode profession. That bumps the total for both of these professions to 3. You might have remembered me talking about this before, how it seems like ArenaNet were trying to eventually have 3 of every profession for all of the heroes. Well, now there are 3 hero assassins and 3 hero ritualists. Zairi is very useful for this fact, and in fact completing Winds of Change in hard mode is it's a very, very, very good idea, really, because you get that extra ritualist. It means you don't have to buy mercenary heroes or anything to piss about with an extra one, like you saw I did on my main account with Casey Whitedale. So we're going to go out just so that I can show you guys these two characters. They both come with green weapons initially equipped on them, though these aren't actually maxed, like the mods on them aren't maxed. You got Zairi there, Miku there. Miku, as again, I'm sorry if any of you saw Miku while I was playing through Winds of Change. She was unlocked on my account the entire time I did this Let's Play. So if you saw her on the list, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you actually see they come equipped with stuff. We'll start with Miku. Miku has got Geshoku. I have literally no idea what that word means. I'm not sure what it's referencing at all. But as you can see, like, she's only got damage plus 10% while in a stance. Kind of interesting, I suppose. They come automatically customized, so you can't sell them. Likewise, Zairi's thing is also customized. This is an interesting one, though, because this is called Zanhai's Resolve. If you remember when we first started Winds of Change, Zairi was really our go-to guy. He was the cool person that we met and we spoke to most of the time. But there was a point where we started speaking to someone else called Zanhai, if you remember, and he led kind of that whole first push against the gangs while we were still with the Ministry of Purity, and we ended up killing Zanhai. At one point, we were being headed off at the start of part 2 by Zairi and Zanhai. They were both stood there, and they refused to let us pass, but Zanhai just kept fighting until we had to kill him to get out of the way. Zairi, on the other hand, let us pass. He actually let us pass a few times. So I think it's really cool that there was actually this interesting dynamic between those two characters. They were two very similar characters in a lot of ways. It's just Zanhai died for his belief while Zairi came round to our thoughts, and he actually has equipped that weapon, Zanhai's Resolve, which I think is quite cool. It describes his resolve. He died for it, and Zairi didn't. So I think it was a really nice touch that they gave him that weapon. His armor is the Unity. His helmet's always called the Unity of Purpose, while his armor is the Ministry stuff, and Miku's stuff is just Wanderer's stuff. I think it would have been cool if her stuff had been called like Mosing or something, but whatever. Anyway, these are the two heroes. They've got dialogue and stuff, as you might know. There you go, like, together, let's work to create a peaceful world. Nothing particularly interesting, trust me, it's not amazing. If you are interested, though, do feel free to go onto the wiki and have a check it out. But yeah, there you go, that is literally it with the rewards. Let's have a look at the dialogue, shall we? Let's do this. Okay, so apparently Wiki doesn't actually have specific map locations for the Part 3 stuff. Like, supposedly nobody's had time to update that. So I just have vague descriptions. For example, this first one is Wyjum Bazaar, south of the marketplace. I have no idea how far away. Oh, nobody's wielding any weapons. This isn't going to be good. But hopefully this is it. Okay, so the guards say it sure has been quiet the past few days. And, yeah, it probably has. None of these dialogue, by the way. Actually, let's read it first. Yeah, a little too quiet, says the guard. Too quiet to be good. I'm sure those guys are gonna aggro me, aren't they? Not good. How original? Why do people? How original? Why do people say that anyway? How can there be too much absence of sound? It's a metaphor, god damn it. Okay, we're gonna have to fight these. I don't know how we'll hold up if nobody's got any weapons equipped whatsoever except for me. Yeah, I've got my slicers back. Ah, that was pretty good. We are only in normal mode. The guard says, oh, never mind. It's odd that we haven't had to pick up any rotting Amfat or Jade Brotherhood corpses, though. Oh, how grim. So, it can't be too quiet, but there can be too few corpses strewn across the street. Yeah, that's normal. Well, these are dark times, or were dark times. See, now the thing is with these dialogues, you know what I mean. The gangs never pick up after themselves when they kill each other, and God knows that the Ministry of Purity doesn't like getting their pretty white uniforms dirty. I like that idea that the people call these guys lazy and like they're not doing enough, but it's just because they're doing all the other shit that that goes along with all the bloodshed. Maybe they're already dead, says the camping guard. Yeah, I highly doubt that. Yeah, maybe, says the guard. Says the guard, says the guard. These guys need unique names. Are we done here? Are we done here? Can I explain now? I think we are done. Right. Yeah, so what's the next one? Kaineng Docks, northwest of the marketplace. Oh, that one's easy. Okay, good. So we can just go back in. Yeah, the thing is with these, they unlock as you complete the individual quests in Part 3. There's only 4, by the way, so don't worry too much. But none of there's not, I think that ArenaNet dropped the ball a little bit, because there's not any dialogue that unlocks for completing all of the Winds of Change that, like, appears hidden somewhere. Like, say, for Togo in Takanai Temple. Wouldn't that be awesome, eh? Think about that. But no, they didn't do anything like that. So all of these are going to be like back in time as if the Ministry of Purity is still doing shit. Anyway, out here we got a load of Ministry enforcers and a load of peasants. Citizens of Cantha, due to recent lawlessness on the attack on Canning Centre, the Ministry of Purity will be enacting the following new laws. Effective tonight at sundown, a curfew will be enacted. Any residents found outside of their homes past dark shall be subject to arrest. Ah, curfew, that's when it starts. What? That's preposterous, says Igo's son. Hey, you've got a cool name. Use of magics, regardless of the particular school of magic use, shall be restricted to members of the Ministry of Purity and those who receive express written permission from the Ministry of Purity to use said magics. Any resident found using magic without a permit shall be subject to arrest. Yeah, watch this. I'm using Asuran Scan. That's like my only real spell here at the moment. So, I'm not supposed to heal dying people I come across, says Izao. Any persons found to be associated with or related by blood or marriage to any of those convicted of offspring of the Amphad, Jade Brotherhood, or any other associated organizations shall be subject to arrest until such a time questioning determines your innocence. Fantastic. Enough, says Igo. I will not listen to any more of this. You have no authority to enact these laws. Where were you while the gang set fire to Kaineng City? Where were you while they breached Kaineng Center's walls? Where were you while they murdered and pillaged their way across the city? They're losing the people. I love this. It reminds me of that Game of Thrones episodes recently. Oh, that's a bit of a spoiler, I suppose. I won't say that. Continue. Are they going to have a retort? He's not actually directly, like, responded to what these peasants are saying. He's just blabbered shit. Here we go. Public questioning of the Ministry of Purity's authority is forbidden, and offenders are subject to arrest. Guards, oh holy shit! I somehow thought that they might attack us. It's alright. I've got my whole team here. We should be good. They're gonna kill him. We must help. You can't take me without a fight, says I go. Yeah, we didn't kill you. We spared your lives because we're not arseholes. You there, monk, assist us. Oh, this is fantastic. Sorry, I don't have express written consent. Boom. Yes, brilliant. Don't you dare heal them, you guys. My team. You will all pay for this. I will remember your faces. You'll all be subject to arrest. Ah, this is awesome. In case you didn't realise, I haven't done the part 3 dialogues before. Go on, piss off. Oh, that was so cool. I wonder what happens if he dies. It's like a proper event in Guild Wars 2 if he died. That's awesome. Okay, that's that one. Oh, cool. I'm looking forward to the next one. 2 more. Zakwang, sorry, Skyway, northwest near the exit to Buckdeck Byway. Oh, are you shitting me? That's ages away. Well, kind of ages away. I don't know. I may have to cut it. This is going to be past the scavengers and stuff, isn't it? Wait, no, by Buckdeck Byway. What? Well, hold on. Zakwang Skyway near the exit to Buckdeck. Oh, shit, that's all the way up there, isn't it? Ah, man, yeah, that's ages away. Right, so what I will do, actually, it might be quicker to go from the marketplace. I'll see you guys in a second. I'm going to cut this out. You know, I've just realised I so rarely make this walk through this certain area. There's like no enemies anywhere near here. And look at just how weird the textures and stuff are. I'm not sure how happy I am that this is all pretty much going to end. Like, I always wanted as well when I first played, by the way, to go along like these bridges and stuff that were set up there, but you never can. I'm not sure how happy I am that this is all really going to end like in the grimness of Kaineng Center for the majority of the episode. However, it will. The very last encounter is outside Xingje, which is cool, so we get a nice scenic area to clean everything up on. Right, so we come out here. I'm hoping that these two guys here talking are the people we're looking for. They are. Brilliant. So these peasants say things sure are a lot quieter these days. Oh, just like the guard. Yeah, well, what do you expect? The Ministry of Purity has arrested any who oppose them, and everyone else is afraid to suffer the same fate if they speak out. Quieter, but much more fearful, I suppose. It's always quiet when everyone's been silenced. Ooh. But you have to admit the streets are safer. The afflicted are long gone and the gangs haven't been this pacified in, well, as long as I can remember. Yeah, I suppose you're right, says the peasant. You always were one to look at the bright side, the silver lining. Better to look at the bright side than the dark corner of a cell. Huh. I'm sure when the dust settles, Canthans will look back at these times as a necessary step to a brighter future. Right. You can't make an omelette without cracking some eggs, and you can't clean up an empire without arresting a quarter of its population. Or something. Ah, see, it is interesting. In some ways, they did help. Ah, I do like this about the Winds of Change, that it was never clear. It was never clear. See, you're getting it, she says. I don't think you should always just blindly look at the silver lining, though. Not when there's a huge storm cloud that's creating it. Are we done? Are we done here? Okay, that one definitely wasn't worth the walk, but anyway, I digress. Kinya Province, west of the exit to Sunqua Vale. Alright, Sunqua Vale. Wait. Kinya Province, west of the... So what, we're out in the mountains? Huh, okay. I'll go to Ranmusu. I guess we're going to cut it, guys. Just walking past the area. I wonder if this has got anything to do with the Tengu. It's a very odd place for a dialogue. This is the last one that unlocks. This only unlocks once you've completed the, saved everyone at Xingje. So I'm assuming it's got something to do with the students. Or the Sensali, actually. Some of the Sensali you could find on that mountain. Maybe the Sensali are talking, have got something to say. I don't know, respecting you because you've demolished most of their forces or something. I don't know. This is interesting. This is how it ends. So, let's see. Nobody's home, apparently. Where it's in Kenya Province, west of the exit to Sunqua Vale. So it will be somewhere around here. Actually, I did see a couple of people. Crimson Skull is still just as pissed off with us as ever. Wonderful. I did see some people standing, near this bridge over here. Yeah, over there. Was it those guys? No, that's only one person, isn't it? Near Tomat Pass. I can't quite see. Oh, here, I think these are the guys. Just around this corner here. On the right. This is where, if you remember, we had to lay that trap for some of the quests really early on, and the Yetis came running down this gorge. Do you remember that? Early Factions? This is that place. Oh, no, there's only one person. No. Oh, over there. Oh, in the town where the affliction first ever broke out, where you hear the hints about it. Like any good zombie movie where you hear, oh, there's something going on. It was this place. This was the equivalent. Oh, no, those are just two guards. For Christ's sake, where are we going? Is that over here? Oh, I think it... Oh, no, it's over here. Okay. This is where one of the previous dialogues was as well. Alright, so we've got a Ministry Enforcer, 2 of them, surrounded by peasants. Holy crap. And they're all looking up at the gate. Residents of Xingje, it is with great relief that I speak with you today. Oh, there's another one up there, a captain. And Brother P1's behind him. When Reiko learned of the Tengu's dastardly assault on the monastery, she feared for the worst. Did she now? The Ministry arrived as quickly as possible, but the assault had already begun. How are they going to explain this? Who saved them? But the gods smiled on you on that fateful day. You stood up to those feathered beasts, and you were victorious. The headmaster stood up to him. We stood up to him. Menlo stood up to him. This is exactly what Reiko's message teaches us. Each and every one of us has the ability to stand up to evil and strike it down. Good always triumphs over evil. You were going to let them die. You just wanted an excuse to fight the Tengu. But the challenge is not over. It is one thing to stand up to evil when it's outside your doors and you are on the brink of oblivion. It's another to say no more and to take the fight to them. Yeah, and there's a big difference between that. Causing trouble and saving yourself from trouble. Yes, you push the Tengu back. The immediate threat, it would seem, is gone. But how long before they are back? A long fucking time? How long before the other Tengu enact revenge for those killed here this day? You have seen what these beasts are like. You have seen that they wish to push you from your homes through force. It's only because you... It's all because of you! I don't like how that peasant there is doing like a thoughtful animation. So I ask of you, why do you continue to risk the lives of your family? Why do you allow these monsters to continue to taint this otherwise tranquil island? I was hoping the last dialogue would be some kind of conclusion thing, but it's not. Minister Reiko fears for your safety. She mourns those already lost and has vowed to do everything in her power to ensure no more Canthans die at the hands of the Tengu. Don't be fooled by those who say the Yangchu are different. If the attack on Xingje has taught us anything, it's that we can only trust in ourselves, in each other. The Emperor was wrong to think he could reason with the beast. They may speak like us, but they do not think like us, and they cannot be trusted no matter how well they disguise their true, sinister intentions. After everything Togo did, just a few years later, look at this. He's dead for Christ's sake, and it means nothing. Join with us in saying no more! Cantha is a human empire, and it's due time that we make that clear. This is like the strongest foreshadowing they've had so far, though, of them becoming xenophobic. Cantha being a human empire? I could imagine that being like their motto. Is that the end? Really? They're leaving it on that dark note. Or I guess I'm leaving it on that dark note. That was the last dialogue to unlock. That is crazy. And he's got such a big crowd as well. And you can't even get to him because the peasants are blocking the way. Oh, you can vaguely get to him. I might be body blocked though, we'll see. P1 has nothing to say about this. I think I am body blocked. Oh no, I'm not. We actually did get behind there. Wow, that is that's pretty crazy. Well, there you go, guys. Maybe this is somewhat fitting. A group of Canthans looking up at the Ministry of Purity, showing their xenophobia. The seeds have been sown, I suppose, and it'll be a long time, guys, before we see what happens here in Guild Wars 2, but we can see the direction. We can very much see the direction. So that's it for me. That's it for our journey through Winds of Change, through Guild Wars Beyond, and pretty much through Guild Wars altogether. There might be some small quests I do every now and then, but don't hold your breath. It would just be on a whim if I decided to do it. If somebody, say, left a comment on an earlier video and was like, oh, you forgot to do this, like somebody did recently where I hadn't saved Beetletime from the Hordes of the Undead, and then I went back and did that random episode. But really, this is kind of it. I'm not going to have some long, sappy kind of ending goodbye thing that I did at the end of the other episodes. This video is long enough as it is. People are going to click this and think, oh, this is going to be just as epic as Eye of the North or whatever. Not to toot my own horn, but it's really not. It's Beyond, for me, I've always considered the end of Eye of the North as the end of the Let's Play. I really have. Beyond's been a nice kind of, like, it's been like the after pie. It's been something nice to continue on with. But yeah, and now we're done with that. Whenever there's an update, as I said, we'll be back in Guild Wars 1. I've got a few ideas for the series I'll be doing. We will still be seeing possibly the same characters, probably the same characters actually, in Guild Wars 1 if I ever do stuff like that. But yeah, really, for consistent daily, as best as I've been doing them daily, videos, this is the end, guys. Thanks very much for watching, really. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know how much of the stuff you've watched, no matter, even if you've only watched a few of the episodes of the Winds of Change, or you've watched everything from the start of Prophecies till now. It's been great to have you with me. There will be other Let's Plays going on, and hopefully it won't be too long before Guild Wars 2's out, and it will be me saying hi guys and welcome to Guild Wars 2. But yeah, I suppose. Thanks very much again, guys. I'm like I said, I'm not going to be all big and sappy and take too long. But yeah, so I guess I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you later on today for Guild Wars 2 Daily. And we probably will be having Guild Wars 1 footage going up tomorrow for one of these new series, the timeline thing I'm hoping to get us crack on with today. And yeah, so, and even like another game let's play I'll probably start. I'm thinking of doing, and no one's asking for this, but I want to do it. Underworld, I'm thinking of maybe doing at some point in the near future, like maybe after the first week of work and I'm settled in, because I flashed up that image at the end of my previous Tomb Raider thing to suggest I was going to do it, and it's been long enough, so I kind of want to do that. Then maybe we'll go do a new game, Bioshock 2 at some point, all kinds of stuff. I don't know, but yeah, that's the end of Guild Wars. So it's been a cool ride. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm rambling. Yeah, I don't really know how to say goodbye at the end of something like that, but there it is. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.